Why do we compare our children to other children? Why? Most of us, I think, when we ask this question, the natural tendency is, of course, I don't compare my children to anyone else. I'm a learned individual, I'm educated, and I know that comparison is bad. So I never compare my child to anyone else. My child is unique, and I'm bringing him up or raising her up the way as per her personality or attributes or abilities. So no, I don't compare my children to anyone. I say that too. However, there's an honest confession. Why am I saying honest confession? Confession has to be honest, right? Otherwise it's not a confession. So there is a confession that I want to make, and I believe that most of us as parents are also guilty of this fact. While we might choose to say, or while we might believe for ourselves that we're not comparing our children to anyone, I think we are. I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I was born in a middle-class family. My dad was the sole earning member in the family, taking care of, I think, totally 6 people in all, because it included my grandparents as well. I would probably see him only on Sundays, but I would get some amount of time with him. And I didn't have actually a single family vacation. I didn't get to go for a single vacation. I remember my first ever vacation, which was just a couple of kilometers from where we stay, on the outskirts we went, was when I was, I think, 17 or 18 years old. Until then, not a single vacation. We used to go for movies, from the school we've gone for picnics, etc. But we could never go for a family vacation. Obvious reason was due to financial constraints. And I think my parents were very vocal about it. They would share, they would talk to me and my brother about it. And I think that's why it was easier for us to digest that fact. However, children are children, right? And even then, I would feel bad about the fact when I would see other children plan summer vacations, Diwali vacations, Christmas holidays, and me and my brother would just be at home. I would feel very, very bad about it, and somewhere it stayed inside. There were other aspects as well. In our society, we were the last ones to get the television. Back then, we didn't have televisions. I'm talking about a black and white television. We were the last ones to get a telephone. So everywhere there was a delay. While we got the things definitely with time, but lot of delay. So we had to go through, that emotional upheaval where we would see that we had a lack and others had a whole lot of things. The confession that I spoke about at the beginning of the video is to do with the fact that when my first child was born, I decided that my child will get a family vacation once a year. My child will get a television in his room. My child will travel in a car, and etc., etc., etc. Now, where is all this coming from? Did anybody tell me to think like that? No. So where have I picked up these objectives or goals that I have as a parent for my child. And then it struck me that it's obviously coming from myself as a child. So what am I doing? I'm actually comparing me as a child, and I do not want my child to go through the same that I went through, and hence I'm looking at protecting and shielding him from those very emotions or difficult times that I went through as a child. Now, this is the confession that I was talking about. So while I say that, yes, I don't compare my sons at all to any other children around, but I have compared them to me as a child. My childhood probably has become a benchmark for me. I took that as a benchmark for me and decided what is it that I want to give to my children, and prioritize all of that, what I want to give to my children. It's actually a paradox, we definitely want to be the best parent, but am I truly being the best parent when I'm actually looking at a standard of comparison which is probably 20 years old, and basis that I decide what do I need to give to my child which will make me the best parent. Wow. So wrong. I think me and so many of the parents who probably have unconsciously thought like that, right? Because we don't do it consciously. We're going so wrong. If we believe our child is unique, if we believe that we're not comparing our child to any other child, we do not have to compare our child even to ourselves as children, because we are talking about the times which is 20, 25, 30 years ago. The situations were different, the environment was different, technology is something we did not have. Everything has changed today. So how fair is it to keep that aspect in mind as a benchmark and then decide that this is what I want to give my child, and this is what I want to protect my child from, and this is what I don't want my child to go through? Probably in today's times, my child needs to go through all those upheavals and challenges so that he becomes the best possible adult. And when he becomes the best possible adult and human being, then that automatically makes me a best parent. So what we got, what we did not get, that was our destiny. That was as per our circumstances, our environment, and whatever we had to go through, which is why we have become the way we are today, right? So similarly, let's work in this area. Very difficult, but we need to separate ourselves as children and look at our child as this unique entity. Look at the current reality of things. Look at life, what it is today. What are the resources available to our children today? What are probably the real-time challenges that they're going through? And focus on those rather than what we went through, and then we don't want them to go through the whole thing again. So I hope this somewhere strikes a chord, and lots more coming in store in the subsequent videos. We'll be having some amazing, engaging conversational videos like this, and at the end of every video there is a food for thought, which needs to be taken in and digested. So thank you again for listening, and if you connect with my content, please do subscribe to my channel. Please share it in your circle as well if you think it's going to make a positive difference to someone. Don't forget to press on the bell icon so you get notified when I upload a video. And yes, do visit my website www.praisers.co.in. It'll be wonderful to have you register there and become a part of the Praisers community. There's lots in store to interact, to learn, to engage. So it'll be wonderful to have you there and also get to learn a lot more from all of you there. So thank you once again for your time. Take care and stay safe.